NEC career in the second race. There is Gilles Magnus ahead of Michael Ben-Yahya, crucially. So as it stands, Magnus is going to extend his championship lead heading into that final race, but with Ben-Yahya starting much further ahead for that one, we could still be set for a dramatic end to the 2017 Formula Renault Northern European Cup season. Here's Verschoor coming under pressure from Aubrey as they come through the Parabolica down towards the old hairpin. Aubrey goes one way then the other. He's going to have to take the outside line from the Red Bull backed car under the brakes as they go into the hairpin now. Verschoor takes the inside line, tries to make a tight exit. Aubrey has no way past, tries to go to the outside, but wherever he wants to be, there's already a Verschoor shaped car in the way. He's going to try and slipstream him now, heading up towards turn 8. Aubrey's a very, very boisterous racer. We'll see if he can get on terms with him here. Locks up the brakes into the corner. Verschoor just gets a tiny bit of breathing space, but Aubrey's still fighting back on the exit through turn 10. The Frenchman absolutely desperate to get into third here and try and claim a podium finish. There is a championship on the line and he wants every point he can in pursuit of it. There is Bartek Marecki, currently ahead of Theo Quacco. Marecki's had his fair share of troubles this year, but he's had an incredibly consistent season and that keeps him in championship contention, but he needs to be outscoring Magnus and Ben-Yahya at this stage if he's going to stay in the hunt for the crown. Not sure how that one will play out, but he needs a couple more positions if he can manage it. Meanwhile, Yi is streaking clear at the front. Sacha Fenestraz not really being able to make many inroads into his teammates' lead. I think Richard Verschoor, though, under rather more stress for third place ahead of Gabriel Aubrey. Four cars together coming across the line. That is the car of Charles Malaysia leading that group. Malaysia took his first win at Spa, incredibly confident victory. Had an accident in the final race, but that should not dampen what was an excellent weekend for the 16-year-old Frenchman. And after a strong season in F4, this is proving an equally impressive learning curve for him as he looks to move up to higher European level racing next year. Verschoor defending on the inside of Aubrey as they come into the hairpin. Aubrey can't get past again, so once more he will slot into the slipstream. This is all allowing Sacha Fenestraz to get away. As meanwhile, we have Opmeer and Sargent side by side. Here comes Aubrey round the outside into turn 8 in front of the Mercedes grandstand. They nearly make contact. Aubrey goes out wide. That's going to hand Verschoor a bit of breathing space. Very elbows out racing from the two youngsters in pursuit of that final place on the podium. Meanwhile, Sargent behind has got into 5th place. Incredibly impressive debut from Sargent. Let's look at a replay here. Aubrey ducks to the outside in front of the Mercedes grandstand. Verschoor on the inside. They nearly make contact. There's the slightest nudge of wheel on bodywork. Aubrey goes out wide. Sensibly, the two choosing to back out, and they both live to fight another day, and I don't think it'll take long before those two are at it. Hammer and tongs again in pursuit of 3rd position. Come through the final corner now. Verschoor's managed to pick up a few car lengths. And further back we have Opmeer and Batanyan. We have a black and white warning flag for somebody. I haven't got a timing screen available to me, so I can't tell you who. Magnus still just in front of Ben-Yahya as they come through the first corner. Ben-Yahya desperate to try and get past his teammate if he can in pursuit of that championship. But meanwhile, Yi relatively untroubled at the front as he works his way through Parabolica down towards the hairpin once more. He's more or less cruising towards a first race victory in the Formula Renault Northern European Cup. It's been about as easy as they come. He made an excellent start, and whilst Fenestraz and Verschoor duelled behind for the runner-up spot, he was able to just pull clear. I would suggest Fenestraz has made some inroads into his lead, but certainly not enough to be challenging at this stage. Yi comes through turn 8 now. Tight left-hander, and then he will head towards the exit of turn 10 before the short straight, and then the high-speed right-hander through Mobile 1 at turn 11. Further back, we have the battle between Opmeer and Batanyan at turn 8. Batanyan on the outside. Can he try and get all the way around the outside of the youngster? He can, he does. He takes 5th place. Excellent move from Batanyan. 6th position from Opmeer. And the Russian making a one-off return to the championship this weekend at Hockenheim moves up into the top 6 as they come through turn 12, and Opmeer's not able to fight back, so I would suggest that position relatively safe for now. Yi comes across the line to start yet another lap. That's another one in the books and another one closer to victory. Fenestraz comes over the line now. I would suggest 3 or 4 seconds between the two of them. And then the battle for third. Well, Verschoor leads Aubrey, but that gap has come down once more. No denying Vartanyan and Upmere come over the line now and into turn 1. A little bit of distance between the two. Vartanyan's just been able to get a little bit of breathing space. And Magnus and Ben Yair are still more or less nose to tail a little further down the order. They will be hoping to score some strong points and keep their championship hopes alive. They're definitely the two main contenders. Verschoor trying to get away from any slipstream from Aubrey as they come down through turn 5, the Parabolica now. And I would suggest that the Frenchman is maybe a little too far back to make a move on this lap, but he is certainly getting on terms with Verschoor once again. Under the brakes, does he think about it? No, he just focuses on getting closer. But of course, all of this is allowing Logan Sargent to close up on them. He could yet take a podium finish in his first ever race in the NEC. And what a start to the first weekend of his time with the championship that would be. Aubrey now ducks to the outside as if to make a statement of intent to Verschoor. Verschoor holds the line and carries on, but the gap has definitely reduced between the two of them. Aubrey's not afraid to make brave moves, we know that. Will he make another one now in pursuit of third place, or is it sensible at this stage to just take the points and focus on that all-important second race coming up at 5 o'clock today? Verschoor now breaking down towards turn 12. Oh, little lock-up on the front left of the car. That's going to allow Aubrey up alongside. No, he's just tucked in behind as they come up through turns 13 and 14 and now into 15, the long sweeping section. An excellent chance to get slipstream down the back straight, which he is. They come down towards the line now. Is he going to try and make a bold move into the first corner? I think he's going to think better of it, but this will give him the advantage into turn 2. Closes right up as they go through the corner, and now it's a drag race down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2, where the old Hockenheim ring used to go straight on. Now it goes right into the newer section. Under the brakes, can he get anything? No, but they are literally nose to tail. They may as well be one long Formula Renault Northern European Cup car at this stage, but all of this is just allowing Sargent to close up on them, and he continues to do so. We could have a three-way fight for third place as things stand. He's now on the inside line as Aubrey goes to the outside, heading into the hairpin. They nearly touch wheels about 4 times, but still they don't make contact. Very sensible racing from the two of them. Aubrey tries to get the undercut, just has to pull out of it. Verschoor has that line covered. Sargent's now right up with the two of them. So Aubrey now has to make a choice. Does he attack Verschoor for third, or does he consolidate fourth ahead of the fast-charging Logan Sargent in these later stages? Aubrey has a little look up the inside. Verschoor locks again into turn 8 in front of the Mercedes grandstand. That is going to give Aubrey the opportunity to close up on him. Sargent's dropped back maybe 2 car lengths, but he is still waiting, just anticipating any opportunity to get involved with this scrap and maybe get himself some silverware and RHGP some silverware in this first race at Hockenheim. Down into turn 12, Sargent definitely closing up. Aubrey's a little closer, but not quite close enough to make a move up the inside. They head up through turns 13 and 14. Momentum crucial in this final section of the lap. Fenestraz comes over the line, but I would suggest that Yifai now has got this one pretty much sewn up, barring any late race drama. This is where the battle is. Another black and white flag being shown by the officials on the start line, but Aubrey meanwhile picking up the slipstream through turn 1. Can he get anything on the run up to turn 2? Wants to be careful that he doesn't hand Logan Sargent the opportunity to reply and maybe take that third place away from him. Under the brakes they close up, and now they head through turns 3 and 4, and then they will go down the sweeping left-hander of turn 5 down to the hairpin, and that I would suggest is their best opportunity to make up some ground. So Yifai comes through the hairpin now. He's had a relatively untroubled race, and he is more or less on his way to the maximum score of 30 points. He can't win the championship this weekend, but that definitely won't harm his score. Currently, he is sitting joint 11th in the championship. He has a total of 44 points after his strong performances at the Nürburgring. 2 podiums, a second and a third. But here is where the real battle on circuit is at the moment. Verschoor with Aubrey trying to get up the inside. Sargent just behind, nothing really changing at the moment. It's as if they're all sizing each other up, trying to work out where the relative weaknesses and strengths are. We could be set for a battle royale in the closing stages here. Sargent has his first look at the inside of Aubrey as they go through turn 11. But no change as they head down towards turn number 12 now. The heavy braking hairpin. Right-hander. Sargent trying to take a slightly wider line in and a narrow one out. Can't manage it. Verschoor leading now through the final sector then, ahead of Aubrey and Sargent. He's holding on to third position now, but I wonder for how much longer. Vartanyan has started to close in on that little group again, if I am not mistaken. Excellent performance from him, especially on a one-off return to the championship after not contesting the first 4 rounds of the year. Incredibly hard thing to do, jump in a car on a weekend and just be on the pace, so he's done exceptionally well. There we see Sasha Fenestraz working his way down through turn 5. There is his teammate and race leader Yifei Yi up front. But I would suggest that maybe it is too little too late for the Franco-Argentine to do anything in this race, but the two of them will share the front row again in that second race at 5 o'clock. We will see if he can do anything about it then. So Fenestraz now comes up through turn number 11, Mobile 1, and now down into the heavy braking. Sorry, my mistake, wrong corner. He goes into turn number 8, and now on the exit of 9 and 10. And now he will go on the short straight up towards Mobile 1, and then down towards the heavy braking zone at turn 12. All areas where he can try and make some incremental gains on his teammate out in front. But I would suggest that maybe there aren't enough laps left, as Yifei Yi works his way through turns 14 and 15 now, whilst Fenestraz is still just at turn number 12. Behind them, that 4-way battle for third position is really closing up as they come through turn 12. Verschoor still leading Aubrey, Sargent and Vartanyan. It's anybody's guess which way this is one to go, which way this is one is going to go. Excuse me. And I certainly wouldn't like to predict who's going to get third in the closing stages. It's such an excellent circuit for overtaking as Hockenheim, plenty of opportunities, and I'm sure sooner or later one of these this 4-car train is going to try and make a move for third. So Verschoor has managed to stretch his advantage by a couple of car lengths over Aubrey. He's no longer in such a direct threat under the brakes from the slipstream, but the Frenchman is still right with him. I would suggest that Sargent now maybe is the one to watch, moving right up to the back of Aubrey. Can any of them catch the slipstream coming through Parabolica this time towards the hairpin and move up another position? Here they come onto the brakes. I don't think anybody's quite close enough, but Sargent definitely gets to is almost nose to tail with Aubrey. Aubrey has a little correction on the exit of the corner, but still Verschoor remains in control as they head through the fast right-hander at turn 7, down under the brakes for turn 8. Still nothing doing. Aubrey locks up heading into turn 8. Is that going to present an opportunity to Sargent to move up into 4th position? I don't think so, but the RS GP car has definitely gotten ever closer to the Tech 1 racer. Sargent looking to move up into the Formula Renault Euro Cup this year. The Formula Renault North European Cup provides an excellent opportunity for him to get acquainted with the car and the weekend format and the teams. And it just helps bridge that gap between regional and European level junior single-seater racing. Verschoor still leading, but Sargent all over the back of Aubrey now. Verschoor still leading that train. Little slide as he comes through the final corner, turn 16, but he is still firmly in control out front. Can Sargent pick up a slipstream from Aubrey now? But he's got to be careful because Vartanyan behind in the number 34 is more than happy to get in on the action if an opportunity presents itself. They head through the tight, fast turn 1, right-hander up towards turn 2. Onto the brakes. Are they going to have any opportunity? I don't think so, not this time around, but Vartanyan's definitely looking racy at the rear of this 3-car train, because Verschoor now has started to get away whilst the trio are squabbling over 4th behind him. Maybe they can work together and catch him up, maybe not. Maybe this is where the battle royale for 3rd position ends, but regardless, Verschoor's driven an incredibly mature race to first defend from Aubrey and then to start stretching the advantage. Brake lock-up from Aubrey. Sargent's going to go down the inside into the hairpin. They sensibly leave each other enough room. Aubrey will try to fight back on the exit, but I suggest Sargent has just managed to secure that place ahead of him. Can he do anything now about Verschoor? But first he's got to worry about the fight back from Aubrey through turn 7 into turn 8. And look at Vartanyan going to the outside line. Sargent defends, Vartanyan locks up, Aubrey tries to go up the inside, but he's not quite close enough. Can he get him on the exit? Heading through turn 10, he's on the outside, Aubrey? I don't think so. Is that going to leave the door open for Vartanyan? It has. He draws up alongside the Tech 1 car of Aubrey as they head now through turn 11. Vartanyan takes the place. Aubrey just has to back out a little bit before his nose cone makes contact with the rear wheel of Vartanyan. And Sargent now up into 4th place. Can he do anything to try and catch Richard Verschoor in 3rd? So the leaders, Yifei Yi and Sasha Fenestraz, head over the line, 1 and 2 respectively. The Joseph Kaufmann racing cars firmly in control here at Hockenheim. But can Sargent do anything now to try and pressure for the final podium position? He's managed to get ahead of both Vartanyan and Aubrey. Now Verschoor is all that stands in his way of a podium finish on his first ever race in the Formula Renault North European Cup. Checkered flag being readied in front of me. I would suggest this is the final lap of the race as Yifai works his way now for the final time. We think down towards the hairpin. Controlled this race from start to finish. It's an excellent victory from him. Turns through the heavy braking right-hander and will now start to accelerate through the fast right-hander at turn 7 before heavy braking and turn left into turn 8 in front of the Mercedes grandstand. An incredibly mature performance from the 17-year-old. This will be his first win in the championship, as mentioned. And he certainly has enjoyed some success in the Euro Cup this season, taken podium finishes, not quite managed to make that race-winning breakthrough, but mileage in the car is what counts, and he's certainly getting some here, and he's also having experience in front of some quality drivers. Fenestraz leading the Euro Cup, of course, at the moment, so an incredibly impressive performance nonetheless from Yifai. Turns through turn 12 now, and he will go up through turns 13 and 14, down towards 15 and 16, the final corner. The Joseph Kaufmann racing car comes through relatively untroubled. Through the final corner he goes. Checkered flag not waved, so we've got another lap still. 21 seconds on the clock, so this will be the final lap of the race now. Fenestraz comes through in second. Verschoor is still holding the advantage in third. Sargent has one more tour of this 2.8-mile Hockenheim circuit to try and relieve him of the final spot on the podium, but he wants to be careful he doesn't leave himself open to attack from Vartanyan. Aubrey now has really slipped away from this group. Unfortunate, but he's had an incredibly strong race, Aubrey. Some very brave moves. And Ben Yaya now, I believe, ahead of Magnus. That is crucial for the championship. We'll have to see what that does to the points, but heading into that final race, we could have a very interesting championship situation. And Magnus now has fallen right towards the rear of the field. That's an absolute disaster for the Belgian. He needs to be closer to Ben Yaya if he's going to keep himself in the best possible position for championship contention. Yifai now comes through turn 8 in front of that fantastic Mercedes grandstand here at Hockenheim. He'll accelerate away through turns 9 and 10 before the short straight, and then the fast right-hander into turn 11, just a few corners from victory. Verschoor now seems to have third relatively under control over Sargent, but you never know. So Yifai turns through turn 12 now. Left-hander, and he will accelerate away. It's been a fantastic, composed performance from the youngster, and he is about to taste success in the 2017 Formula Renault North European Cup for the first time. Comes around the final corner, checkered flag readied, and Yifai for the first time is a race winner in the Formula Renault North European Cup. The Joseph Kaufmann racing driver takes the win in race 1 here, and with Sascha Fenestraz coming across the line in second, it's an excellent first race for the German outfit. I think Verschoor is going to hang on to third as he rounds the final corner now. And coming across the line, the Red Bull back driver completes the podium ahead of Logan Sargent, an impressive fourth on his debut. And then Vartanyan, Gabriel Aubrey rounds out the top 6 ahead of Otmir. Been a fantastic first race, several battles throughout the top 6. We wait to see what happens in terms of the championship. Ben Yaya comes across the line in 8th now. Where is Magnus compared to that one? 9th is settled. Marecki comes home 10th ahead of Quacco, Malaysi, Neubauer. Magnus comes home in last position. That is going to create a lot of drama heading into that final race of the day. Ben Yaya starting ahead of Magnus in that one too. We are set for an absolute battle royale for this championship finale of the 2017 Formula Renault North European Cup season. It starts at 5 o'clock Central Eastern Time this afternoon. That's 4 o'clock if you're watching back in the UK. It's going to be an absolutely incredible race. I wouldn't want to miss it. We have a championship to decide, and it's closed right up at the top once again. There is Yifai celebrating as he is on his in lap. Fantastic race from the 17-year-old. He said after qualifying yesterday he'd be happy if he just had 2 podiums, strong races, brought the cars home. So he'll have been delighted to have started with a victory. Fenestraz might have been able to challenge him, but ultimately I think just lost too much time duelling with Verschoor for second in the early stages. But once he'd managed to demote the Red Bull back car to third and keep him there, started to make some inroads, but it was just too little too late. But Fenestraz will have another go at 5 o'clock and see if he can take a third victory of the season, or will Yifai be on course for a double. So the car's now coming through turn 12. on their in-lap. They will pull into pit lane. Podium ceremony to follow shortly. Yifai really absorbing every moment of this victory. He's still in turn 12 whilst drivers who finished the race some 10-15 seconds behind him are already in the pit lane. But you can't blame him. That first success in any championship is always a great breakthrough moment, and certainly one to be savoured. Marshall's directing Sacha Fenestraz down towards Parc Fermé and Verschoor. Yifai will arrive fashionably late to his own party, but that's okay, that's allowed. The other cars turn at the top of the pit lane into Parc Fermé, and we await our race winner to come into pit lane here at Hockenheim. So Yifai pulls up into the middle of Verschoor and Fenestraz in P1. An excellent performance from the youngster. He will be absolutely elated with that one. Sacha Fenestraz bowing, just taps the helmet of his teammate. Excellent racing between the two of them. They've got a great friendship off circuit, and you can certainly see it there. Fenestraz delighted for the 17-year-old. Puts the steering wheel back in the car, clambers out. He is absolutely delighted with that one. Goes over to see the Joseph Kaufmann racing team, shake of the hand with the engineers. Fenestraz, I think, almost as delighted for this victory as Yifai is himself. Shakes hands with everybody, congratulating the rest of Joseph Kaufmann Racing, and in a few minutes he will have his hands on a winner's trophy in the championship for the very first time. So, an excellent first Formula Renault North European Cup race of the weekend here at Hockenheim, and we've got another one coming up later. We have an excellent race in prospect for you at 5 o'clock, the Championship Decider. We've had 10 rounds across 4 countries. There's been some excellent circuits. You're looking at Spa, Nürburgring, Monza, but it will all come down to 25 minutes around this 2.8 mile circuit, and we will decide who is going to follow in the footsteps of illustrious names. Valtteri Bottas, several other F1 drivers to have graced the series. Carlos Sainz Jr., Daniel Kvyat, Formula E champion Sebastian Buemi, or once Formula E champion Sebastian Buemi, Robin Frains, Antonio Felix da Costa. Several great names of single-seater racing have come up through this route. And who is going to be the next, I wonder, to graduate from this championship and go on to bigger and more prominent things in the future in their careers? There it is, the number 41 car. Well, the 1 is all that matters at the moment. Yifai wins the first race here at Hockenheim, and we will see you all again to do it all again a little bit later. So Richard Verschoor, 3rd position in the first race here at Hockenheim. He steps onto the final spot on the podium, and in 2nd place will be the first of the Joseph Kaufmann Racing cars, Formula Renault Euro Cup Championship leader Sacha Fenestraz. He makes his way now out onto the podium, wave to his team and engineers, shake of the hand with Verschoor, and Fenestraz steps onto 2nd position. And now a race winner for the first time in the Formula Renault North European Cup. We wait for Yi to make his way out onto the podium here at Hockenheim, which he does now, raises his fist to the air. He's absolutely elated with that one. Steps between Verschoor and Fennestraus onto the top step of the podium, and we await the national anthem of the winning driver.
Hier kommt doch nichts. Man hört hier nichts. Ja.
So congratulations to Yi, a race winner in the championship for the very first time. And we will get the trophy presentation underway shortly for the top 3 drivers and Joseph Kaufmann Racing, the winning team. Presenting the trophy for 3rd place, Will Fuchs, the assistant series manager to Richard Verschoor. Very unique and impressive trophies the NEC offers its driver. They are wooden constructs of the circuit, along with the number and the name of the track that they are on. And Jürgen Evers, series manager, now presents the 2nd place trophy to Sascha Fennestraus for Joseph Kaufmann Racing. Holds the trophy high. Has a look. And now the all-important trophy for Yi, again presented by Will Fuchs, the assistant series manager, for winning the first race here at Hockenheim. We've got another race coming up at 5 o'clock today. We hope you'll join us for that one. That is the championship decider.
Renault